Hey everyone, it is Robyn Ellis, otherwise known as Inspired Robyn, intuitive energy healer, and I am here to read the energy for June 2026, but also review a little bit of the energy of May 2026 as well, because it's been huge in a lot of respects. And anyway, we're going to start by getting straight into the cards. It is the 1st of June. We've just come out of the full moon, Sagittarius. And also, that's probably still happening as I record this for people that are in Northern Hemisphere countries. And so we're going to pull a card from the Christ Consciousness Self-Mastery Oracle by Amanda Ellis. Spraying the Master Jesus spray from angeliccelestialcolours.uk. Sprays that I love to use. And let's call upon Jesus to bring us some guidance as we head into this month of June 2026. Those who follow Inspired Robyn will see this message. Help them see this message. Okay, the open door, Christ within you. And I pulled this card for myself just last week. My goodness. This card came up just for me as well when I was doing a reading for myself. So obviously it's a message I also need to hear again, because repeating messages often are. I'm going to read what Amanda has channeled into this card deck via Jesus. I don't know if you can see that card clearly. There we go. Maybe I'll hold it there. Open doorway awaits with accessibility to Christ's energy and guidance that is non-denominational, does not have to be tied to church or any institution, is compatible with any other belief system, and is your personal invitation to a closer connection to Him. The door is never closed, it is not manned by anyone, and no one is barred entry. It is open to all. I'm going to put the card down, actually, I'll put it there. It is open to all. Regardless of creed, colour, class, and individual perspective. It also places no judgment on what you have been or done, and it holds no record of wrongdoing. Rather, it celebrates your wish to elevate your consciousness and seek deeper spiritual nourishment. You are warmly welcomed. All that is required is that you dust off your feet and enter through its portal to holy ground. You may come alone or be carried by another, or you may bring someone, because there is room for all, and there will never be no room available at the inn. Here in its sacred pastures you will find anything that you seek to bring you back to harmony and balance. This may be the reset you require, silence and stillness, or laughter and company. Whatever you need is here, and always for your highest good. You will want to become a better version of who you are now, inspired to be the best you can be, taking seriously your commitment to spiritual development and relishing the opportunity to evolve and grow in the presence of Christ. During this time on earth, Jesus never turned anyone away. He made himself available to any person in need. When asked to heal a leper, he did. When, with those judged by others, he gives them his undivided attention. He attended those in deep grief, and when invited to happy occasions, he also gladly participated. There's no part of your life that needs to be hidden from him, and no aspect of who you are that bars you from Christ's love, attention, and care, nor any problem, whether small or large. Do not allow fear or insecurity to alter what you think is possible, and do not let societal or family patterning think you cannot seek a personal connection with Jesus. Old paradigm thinking, taught to you, had to be chosen in some way or sacrifice something to gain his presence. But this is redundant and ego-led. Rather, he walks beside all who seek his company, time and love, always appearing humbly to help serve you, seeing all as worthy and seeing their divinity within. Right now you are at this doorway in your life and are invited to open to something greater, to your connection to him, either to deepen an existing connection or discover him for the first time, and to your own Christ self. Allow the grace of love to sweep over you, soak into your skin, muscle and bone, filling you with Christ's light, strengthening and fortifying you for what is ahead and to come. As your heart opens wider, it leads to further doorways and ever-expanding connection and experience until you realize that the church is you and your body is the temple, and that Christ consciousness dwells there and has made a happy home. Here lives love, and it flourishes as you water it daily via prayer, reflection, good deeds, being there for others, and tending to your own needs with care. And like, we're coming out of May, and it is rainbow season where I live. If you're also a Sunshine Coast or Queenslander in this beginning of winter, you'll notice that we had a week of just rain. We've had weeks on and off of a lot of rain and rainbows and cloudy skies like this. So I know I've felt the heaviness of collective energy. I've noticed, like, May was hard. I spent majority of May job hunting, to be honest, because it has felt like my business is totally invisible. It started with a couple of beautiful reviews on my Google listing at the beginning of the month. And then it was just like I have not had one client all of May. So just so you know, like, it's like no income for the whole of May. I've had to rely on asking people for help with regards to having some money in my pocket to pay for the things that run my business, to pay for my gymming, to pay for bills that I have outstanding. I've had to go and like set up payment plans or ask for assistance. And I feel like I'm not alone in sharing this, because there's probably a whole lot of us that have had to do the same thing. We've had to scramble. And at the same time, we sit and we see people that seem to be able to step up and be able to make things happen. Thankfully, like, for a bit of background on me, like, I managed to land a job role at the end of the month. I have had to invest in myself, and I'm continuing to invest in education and things to get the job, because that's the only way you can. But I'm grateful because of all the jobs that I went for over the month and the interviews that I had. The actual company, despite the fact that I'm, it's part-time, which is okay, because it will allow me to keep the business open and have some time for this when things re-pick back up, hopefully. Not hopefully, they will. It happens it goes in waves. I was going to say, I was train of thought come back, is that, like, I'm working for a company that is all about what I am all about. Like, the company is heart-centered and making a change and making a difference to people in the world, and using a lot of heart energy in the work that they do. And that's probably the best outcome for me, needing to go back into the workforce again, is to be working in a job role that I know is going to utilize my empathic, caring nature and skill set. I want to cry and open doors, like, make a difference in the world, the difference that we want to see in the world. Something I've also, I wanted to bring to the attention of everyone in this particular monthly reading is how, because I've had to go through government bodies to get clearances for things for the work that I'm going into. Head spin, Jesus. Whew, let's clear that. I'm going to bring in Archangel Michael for the next bit. In fact, I'm going to bring him in now. Archangel Michael, there's not a lot left. Once I get a job and pay the payment plans that I've done, I might be able to get some more sprays from you, Amanda Ellis. Anyway, to top up my sprays. These are little things that I use as tools, but, it's been so up and down in the world of my business that, the flow of things just isn't happening. But at the same time, the whole government thing is what I wanted to get at, because we have obviously the political systems in the world and everything. Like, there's a lot of people opening up to what's going on, what the real reality is. There's a lot of mistrust and shift happening. And while this is a very small platform here on my page, my YouTube, Inspired Robyn, and also on my Facebook even, I don't reach that many people, to be honest, with my messaging. And those that do probably all believe or nod their heads when I say this. Like, we need to start being the change that we want to see in the world, rather than relying on people like our government to save us, to bail us out. And this is big words coming from me, who has had a lifetime, 5 decades, I'm into my 5th decade, of having to ask for help all the time on the financial side of things, and even on life side of things. Archangel Michael placed the armor of God around me and protect me with a pyramid of protection above and below. Archangel Metatron of 100% pure divine light, placing a 10-pointed Merkaba around me, around my audience, of protection at this time, as I speak these words, as I share my light and my truth with clarity, honesty, integrity, and heart. Because we have to put our protections up. It's tricky. This mandala this gift from my friend Helen here, from Divine Rose Wisdom, just moved as I said that. Just take a look at the beautiful work that she does. And take the energy of that into your hearts with love and blessings and gratitude. It wanted to be seen on this recording. So there she is. It just moved, wanting to be shown. I'm getting this one too, wants to be seen as well. These both sit on my desk at the moment until I hang them up. So take in the energy of this one as well. With love, blessings and gratitude from Divine Rose Wisdom. Now that just makes me feel so much like it's little things like that we want to see in the world and feel the energy of in the world. And that we need to start in our own little neighborhoods, in our own little spaces, in our own communities, to just be making a difference with our hearts and energy, and just being love, being gratitude, and the rainbow energy. I don't have rainbow bowls for nothing. That dove peace. I just watched, before recording this, the Lee Harris June energy, and he was talking about the divine feminine fire rising, and it feels so right, like that, not push, hustle. It's more the gentle, beingness that is what we're going to start seeing, embodying the world and how we live. And adjusting to that is going to be interesting, but so beautiful. Goosebumps in my brain, like both of them just tipped in my head, like as I say that. I also want to pull a card. That's Christ consciousness, and that's exactly the message that we just got from the Christ within you. It's within us to walk the life, to walk in life in that way, in that heart-centered, caring presence that the world needs right now. And that's why I'm so grateful that the work that as much as it's not instantaneous, get in and get the job, and at work I have to wait for things to happen. I have to do my first aid validation and all that to get to that, to get to the paid work. But it's not so much even about being paid. It's about being of service. That is what's really what I'm craving, because I've had a month of no work other than on myself or making some content, or just having to sit back and just recalibrate myself and rest so that I have my cup fueled. But and we're all probably feeling this too, it's really hard to fill your cup when your finances are very low. It's very difficult to do that because everything's about money. So something that I'm hoping will shift at some point into the future. But right now we just need to hold that Christ light and that Christ energy and do what we can with what we have until it shifts in a way that feels like it's balanced for all. And I'm grateful that I have this home and I can live in this space and I can live where I live, and that we are managing to chop wood, carry water through this and negotiate solutions to things that are tricky on that side of things. But it's not a train smash. And whoa, I got a job and I will be able to chip away at that assistance that I've had to ask for. And hopefully one day I will have a full cup that I can give back to those who, like me, are out there doing the work to help us. And I can go to them and be a customer, be a client, be paying them for their worthiness to create the things that they have, or they create, or do the service that they do, hold the events that they hold, that sort of thing, because it's so hard to sit back and not be able to do that. But also to see that there's so many people that have found a way, and I'm hoping too, because the people I'll be working for are quite savvy, that I might learn a few tricks and things with regards to that, so that I can elevate myself in that way to be more helpful on that side of things too, other than just my heart and my empathy. Because while I have that, I still want to be able to pay monetarily, because I know how much that side seems to help people. But I don't know, maybe the Keepers of the Light will give us a bit of insight into that. Let's see what they've got to share with us this month of June. Because it feels like that patriarchal control society has us suppressed in ways that it makes it really difficult for us to shine our lights in some aspects, in a lot of aspects. But we can. There are ways and means around it. We just got to get creative and savvy, I guess. Anyway, we got 2 cards from Keepers of the Light stuck together. Brigid, inner strength, move back to wholeness, recognize that you have the power, part of what I'm talking about here, and charity, prayer and contemplation. Connect with heaven, ask and you shall receive. So I'm going to start with the charity card because she's on the top technically, and read the channeled message that Kyle Gray, the creator of this deck, has put through for us about charity. I'll show you the card in a minute. Let me just find the message. makes sense. Like, I get a lot of, you're undervaluing your work, you're undervaluing yourself. And true, like, I probably do. Someone even said it to me last week, like, the work that I've done, the freelancey stuff, the free healings that I've given over the years that have really helped people. Yet I haven't been able to monetize that. And it feels like I do need, like I am a bit of a charity. Like I can charity, and I haven't done it for a long time because I've been told I'm not to do it anymore. But also I've had to ask for charity because of that, which is really annoying because I'd rather be the one handing out the gifts, handing out the help. But you've got to have a balance, and you've got to, that's a thing that's been really part of the energy. Like, you've got to have a balance so that you can continue to give back. And when it's out of balance, which the world has been and is, it's still recalibrating itself. It's interesting to notice. But anyway, what's this card want to say, because it feels relevant? This is the Charity card. Prayer and contemplation. About this card is faith, hope, and charity are a trinity of archangels who are dedicated to helping us regain our natural traits of kindness, trust, and faith in the highest good. Charity is the twin flame of Archangel Chamuel. She has a great spirit that encourages us to undertake the spiritual practices of prayer and meditation. Prayer is the way we speak with the divine, and meditation is the way we open ourselves to receive the answers we need to hear. Charity is also the angel who kisses the forehead of all those who pray in support of others. She absolutely loves to see the kindness, or this kindness, because it creates an inspirational healing wave of goodwill to the world. Extended message. The powerful Archangel Charity is drawing close to you at this time because she has recognized that you have goodness in your heart and you have put others first. She brings you thanks and support. Move into prayer and meditation with regard to any decisions you have to make at this time. You are being guided to take the time to breathe and receive. Know that you will have a real surge of intuition when it's time to move forwards. Thank the angels for guiding you towards your highest good, and welcome Charity into the space with you. So thank you, Charity, because I have felt a lot of that while I haven't been doing free healing sessions at all, really, for the past year, because it does affect me in a way, and they have been saying that I needed to step back from doing things like that. And I do want to do that. Like, my heart loves to just do the work and help. But on the same token, I still have to be able to live and, hit my goals and take care of myself. And the stress of not being able to pay bills isn't good for me. But I understand that majority of the people that I service, a lot of the people that I've helped over the years or had as clients, are probably going through similar challenge right now, and your financial status is more like about survival than having a healing session. And I get that. It's the same for me. It's the same for all of us. And that's why I'm now going and having a job outside of doing this work. I'm going back to the workforce, and we'll be working at least 3 nights a week, and hopefully some more hours than that. And hopefully some clients will start to flow in through that energetic shift that I can do by actually just going out and getting a job and being like the rest of society, and not relying completely 100% on my business, which I've been doing for the past few years for the most part, and it's been hard in this climate. And I don't know, for some reason it feels like maybe my energy and my worthiness or what it is I do is being energetically blocked for whatever reason. Anyway, let's talk to Brigid about inner strength, because we also need that at this time too. Move back to wholeness, recognize that you have the power. Brigid is a Celtic goddess of Ireland who is closely associated with fire and the time of spring. She is the twin flame of Cernunnos. She was so well loved by the Celtic people that when Christianity came to Ireland, she was adopted as a saint of holy wells and other holy places. She is a powerful figure who can help us channel our energy into something that is important for our growth. And as she herself has lasted through the ages, she adds longevity to our journey so that we can reach a deep state of wholeness. You can call on her to bring her sacred flames, to burn away anything that's not serving you, to bless any new projects you have in mind, and for support with fertility. Extended message. Your spiritual fire is growing within. Recognize that the power of your soul is greater than you think. You have come a long way since you began this journey. There is a powerful force within you, and you have the ability to create wonderful changes in your own life and inspire those around you to do the same. Be aware of new projects, opportunities, and fertile ideas that can grow into something larger than you may imagine. Call on the fiery goddess Brigid to light the way ahead. And in some respects, I've kind of named my child that name, just in a more modernized form. So, yeah, that's the card for some of the message today. Prayer and contemplation, inner strength, the open door, Christ within you. We've got the rainbow, the pinks and reds, the greens, and the fire energy of that feminine fire, that inner strength that we have, particularly as women. But also like the feminine side within all of us is ignited. And that, if you go and watch Lee Harris and his channeling for June 2026, he talks a lot about the feminine fire that's rising in us at the moment. Also being guided to spray Mother Mary into this energy reading for the month of June 2026. Just to see what her divine energy is for us this month. Because I've spent 16 years being a mother predominantly and wanting to be the mother. And I'm going into a role that will allow me to be a bit of that energy as well, because that's what I can bring. I'm pulling a card from Work Your Light by Rebecca Campbell. The initiation, rite of passage. You're going somewhere sacred. And look at that beautiful image there. I mean, it's like we're coming through a shadowy cave. But look at that beautiful turquoise water out there. And the pinks. Like, there's a lot of storm around us. I'm seeing snake energy in this as well, like the kundalini. There's like the snake in the image. But there's jewels in amongst the darkness and the shadow that we're working through. This is a collective energy that we all know, and we're all feeling it. I know Lee talked about there's a rumbling feeling in the collective, in the earth, that feels like when an earthquake is coming to rock us, kind of thing, that we're all feeling it. If we're an empath, light worker, just feeling that energy right now. Initiate, and that was the name of his course, hey? The initiation. So I'm just going to find card here. And I know I'm using this deck in a different way to what it, but I just like to pull single cards. The initiation. I'm trying to work out where, because I haven't used this deck much. Here we go. Found it. Rite of passage. You're going somewhere sacred. There is a temple in India that looks terrifying from the outside, but inside it is filled with jewels and is one of the most loving places imaginable. This represents the journey that the soul pilgrim is required to take to reach somewhere sacred, but only the initiated can enter. Perhaps that's where you are right now. You're being tested, initiated because you're headed somewhere sacred. Initiations require that we cross the threshold from one world or state of being to the next. We are called to face what scares us and have to be willing to lose it all in order to gain a new way of being, of safety, of security, of depth, of meaning. Initiations like rites of passage mark the shift from one age to the next and can take place because of emotional turmoil, great loss, grief, or devastation. But it is through the seeming hardship that our heart cracks open and our spirit is invested to step forward. We take the sacred voyage into more of who we are and who we came here to be. It can be painful and scary, but once we begin the journey, we can be more ourselves than ever before. If you're in the middle of an initiation right now, you'll get through it. And one day soon, you'll be blessed. Or you will bless the thing that broke you down and cracked you open. Because the world needs you open. You're going somewhere sacred. It will be worth it. And you're closer than you think. Work your light action. You're going somewhere sacred. Let it crack you open. That's really... Well, you know, I've had the month of no clients and feeling like, wow, business is not working. And maybe that's not where I'm meant to work my light. And I know the interview I did last year with Nat Ubel-Grant on the Lightworker podcast, we talked a lot about like the fact that I've been a mum and I've been navigating healing my body with the MS naturally and all that for the past nearly 20 years, like a mum for 16, diagnosed for 19 of my past years with MS, going through that whole dark night of the soul through that journey. And, you know, my focus has been on so many different things and there's been a lot of distractions along the way too. I've done a lot of self-study, a lot of work on myself. A lot of us have. If you're following me, you probably have been doing so many things to improve life and wondering why it just doesn't seem to break free. But the world is going through this right now. The world is going through a rite of passage and an initiation and shifts and changes. And we're riding the wave and we talk about it month after month after month after month. It feels like it's never ending. And maybe, like, if I'm to look at my own journey, maybe it is going back and doing the work that I'm going to be doing. I won't talk so much about it unless once I get started with it. But maybe that's where I'm meant to be using my gifts for now or into the future. And I know it's something that it's a kind of work that I have done just naturally as a human being in my life from teenage years, even younger. Yeah. I'll talk about it more once I've actually started the job role and if it's okay for me to share this on my stuff. But yeah, it is an interesting time and we are making shifts. And I know that in Lee's reading, he talks a lot about using gratitude because I know I can be guilty of being a complainer and complaining about stuff going wrong and not working and things. But at the same time, I flipped a switch so often lately that where I'm like, but I'm grateful. I am grateful that I can do this or that I'm here and that this is happening and that I'm witnessing this and that I can see that. And all these kind of things. Like, I just am consciously aware of just making a point to acknowledge the things that I'm grateful are in existence in this world, rather than focusing on the bad stuff, because we can all easily go down the rabbit holes. I know I have been. Even on the weekend, I was going down rabbit holes with regard to stuff that's going on in the world. And like I was saying earlier, the whole government thing and the reliance on government to save us. We obviously are waking up to the fact that they're not going to. They can't. All they can do is make a mess of us, it seems. So what's the opposite of that? Is being responsible for your own welfare, your own sovereignty, and your own self. Dare I say it? And that's, you know what? That's making me feel head spins at the back of my head here. But they don't want us to do that. It's been going on for years, for eons, actually. They don't want us to find our own ways. I mean, the fact that I've had so much drama with money in the past month and months off and on for a long time now is testament to that. But this is something that I want to work out a way of how to get around life in that instance and find a way to make things happen for myself so that I don't have to be repeating that same pattern of having to crawl and beg to people or ask for loans or ask for assistance because I haven't been successful in creating a business that pays me enough to run it, or creating or getting a job that creates me, like, honestly, the job that I've got that I'm going to be starting, I would do it for free if I could, just like my business. However, that's not how the world works. But maybe the world will work that way. Who knows? I'm putting it out there. Anyone else relating to how I'm feeling? Because, yeah, there's been so much. Of that kind of energy. That's just me. And I don't want to be. Yeah, I know for a fact that when I started my business, when I was in the personal development side of things, and that was partially because I wanted to create financial freedom for myself and my family. And what it created more so was an awareness of myself more than anything, than creating that financial freedom at that instance, because I couldn't seem to grasp how people do it. And obviously I'm still not grasping how people create income from nothing or their talents. Like, I have created income through my business, but it's a hobby. It's not ever like grown into a successful empire business or, what you see everyone doing, because I don't know, I just feel like people need this work, and I am not the person to charge through a higher amount of money to help them, because my heart's just too big, like these cards were saying. But that's at my own detriment of being able to move forward and give back. The thing is, the divine fire feminine, the fire in us needs to be elevated to a place where we can be making a difference. And it feels like the only way we can make differences is if we've got money to do that with. But maybe there's another flip side, like, that I'm not pointing out here. That people like us, like me, like, I don't know if I'm not speaking for all of us, because you might have money that's watching me. You might be in a good place where you can afford to just pay for things that you need and enjoy life and travel and, own homes and have portfolios and all that kind of stuff. But some of us haven't seemed to grasp that magic bullet, that magic wand to do that. But we have other things that we're magic at. That, as Lee Harris also said, when you're on your deathbed, that stuff isn't important. It's who you were and who you knew and the people around you and the love that you have for people and humanity and life, or nature, or the earth and humanity. Like, there are people in humanity that you care about. It's not, otherwise it wouldn't hurt so much to see the crap going on. Anyway, I am going to leave this month's message here. If you would like a healing session and like to shift the layers, I don't feel like plugging my work. It's interesting. Maybe that's part of the divine feminine, is the hustle. It's just like, you know, that I do energy healings. You can see it in the background here, and you can see the corner of my table. I do it remotely. I do it in person. I do it over Google Meet calls. So my website's inspiredrobyn.com. If you like, not every month is the same kind of monthly message, and not every video is the same kind of subject matter. Just this feels relevant today, and yeah, it doesn't feel like it's been overly uplifting, yet it feels like it's just the realness of what a lot of us are probably feeling right now. Yeah. Let's send the divine love of Mother Mary, who I can still feel in the energy. We've got the protection of Archangel Michael, and we also have the energy of Jesus with us as well. So sending their love and peace and faith and trust, which we get sick of hearing, they know that, to help us through this month of June, to help us recognize the shifts that are happening for us and for others, to help us into integration of that which is initiating, to remove any shadow energy that is infiltrating our energetic field in a negative way, so that we can stay in our light as we walk through the shadow times that are around us, that are definitely here, always. To ensure that we are using discernment when we are doing the doom scrolling or the scrolling. I saw a post about social media is dead. Like, it's like all the stuff's out there. But because it's not so much that it's not there, it's that it's turning into what you're following, what you're watching, what you're choosing to subject matter in your world. And you're just seeing it over and over again. And it's amazing, like, when you do start interacting with stuff, how it shows you more of that. And that's how the world is going to be. If you don't want that, then switch it off, is what I'm hearing. Switch it off. And Lee Harris also brought this up, like, is that we need to be being mindful to have that time where we switch off. Go sit out in the garden and just daydream into the ethers, into the trees, or to nature. Go to the beach and just watch the waves and just unplug. Unplug from the noise that is this world. Unplug from me right now and turn this off. Go and do something like that is just going to reset you. That's what we need to do to get through these times. All the time. And use gratitude in that moment. I'll leave it there. Seeing swirls of golden light just going around. And blues with Archangel Michael. Pinks. Magenta. And so it is. I'll see you next month, and maybe a little bit before. Bye for now.